Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So on the agenda tonight we have Waylon Jennings, and this is going to be coming from 1967, and this is going to be his performance of That's What You Get for Loving Me. So let's get Waylon up on screen and see how he gets on.
That's what you get for loving me. That's what you get for loving me. Everything we had is gone, if you can see. That's what you get for loving me. Don't you shed a tear for me. I ain't the love you thought I'd be. I've had 100 just like you, but don't be blue. I'll have 1,000 before I'm through. That's what you get for loving me. That's what you get for loving me. Everything we had is gone, if you can see. That's what you get for loving me. Crying again. You should have known how things would end. But someday when your poor heart is on the mend, I might just pass this way again. That's what you get for loving me. That's what you get for loving me. Everything we had is gone, if you can see. That's what you get for loving me. That's what you get for loving me.
And there we have it, quite a short video for tonight. But just looking at Waylon, the way that he's playing, just flat picking everything here and on such a clean tone, and very much in the 60s, late 60s as well, you started to get this increase in the sound in terms of the reverb that's actually added to the sound. And we have got that a lot here. This is a really top end trebly sound that we've got on his guitar. So every one of those notes is absolutely cutting through. And the thing about Waylon and the way that he plays and just goes off into that little lead section, it's one of those things on a really clean tone that any little mistake is going to stick out like a sore thumb. So Waylon absolutely on the ball there, and also getting through some riff work while singing at the same time. That's going to increase the difficulty even more. I have mentioned it before about just strumming chords. You can let that right hand go subconsciously and then focus on your vocals, whereas as soon as you start playing single notes, lead lines and riffs with that left hand on the guitar, you need to concentrate a little bit more. It's going to take a little bit more time to get that down, especially because sometimes they don't synchronize well in terms of the emphasis points you have on your guitar riffs with your left hand might be different emphasis points that you might be putting across in a vocal for the lyrics that you might be singing at the time. They might not actually fit timing wise with what you're playing on the guitar, so it always takes more practice in order to get that down. And something that I've mentioned before, and this song has it as well, is this serious theme that's running through the song lyrically in terms of the meaning of the song, because we've got this classic country progression in terms of being major based. There's a lot of major chords here which have a happy sound to them, and generally for this kind of subject matter you would tend to lean towards those minor keys. But this is what tended to happen with country music, is that it's the same keys, major keys, but they would throw all kinds of meanings, lyrics, and even some dark lyrical content over the top of these happy sounding progressions. And if you've been watching my channel, you would have heard Waylon's name pop up during covering the Buddy Holly video. Check that one out if you haven't had a chance to so far, because in that I cover a lot of the Buddy Holly story, but also the ill-fated crash that unfortunately killed Buddy, that Waylon was due to actually get on as well, but he gave up his seat on that flight. And just the whole reason behind the flight and the bus with the heaters that were broken, hence why they wanted to get on a plane, get to the next venue a little bit early. But that's all on that other video if you want to watch that. And this video is actually shot 8 years after that plane crash, and something that Waylon had to live with his whole life was that just before the plane left and Buddy was about to get onto the plane, Buddy said to Waylon, "I hope your big old bus freezes," because they had a couple of buses on their tour that were not working in terms of the heating wasn't working and they kept breaking down, and that's why Buddy said that. But then in return, Waylon said, "I hope your old plane crashes." And it's just one of those banter things that you have between bandmates. But of course the plane then crashed, and Waylon blamed himself for so many years because that's what he said before Buddy got on the plane. Of course, there's no way that Waylon could have caused a plane crash. And of course, after the crash, the radio was reporting it as Buddy Holly and his band have died in a plane crash, whereas of course that wasn't entirely true because Waylon was still alive, but his family were hearing this on the radio and of course assuming the worst. And this is before the times of mobile phones. He couldn't exactly just phone them and say, "Oh no, it's okay, I'm still alive." So he had to try and get the message through to his family that he wasn't actually on the plane. And another thing, the General Artists Corporation offered Waylon and the rest of the band first-class tickets to go over to attend Buddy's funeral. The terms and conditions to that was that they had to then perform in the evening, which they did. And once they had finished performing, they were then refused payment. So Waylon absolutely didn't take no for an answer and persisted, and eventually they did get paid for that gig. But then lo and behold, they never reimbursed the plane tickets that were offered in the first place. So absolutely outrageous that that kind of thing happens. It's something that happens all the time in music, that promises are made and never kept by corporations and record labels. And another outrageous fact is that Tommy Allsop and Waylon continued on with that original tour for 2 more weeks after the plane crash, with Waylon taking on lead vocal, and for that they were paid less than half the agreed salary at the beginning of the tour. It's almost like they're saying that that salary was for the full band, whereas now we've only got 2 left, we're going to pay you this amount because there's not a full band anymore. It's absolutely outrageous. And even in the late 50s, the emphasis on money, it just well, the music industry has always been about money. It's just a nasty undercurrent that always has run through it. But you'd like to think in a normal world that they would still pay the same amount, but give that money, if they are breaking it up per band member, give that money to the loved ones, give it to the family. Getting away from these crazy stories, Waylon actually went on to produce over 40 albums of his own. He was on a lot of compilations as well, and collaborations. He collaborated with guys like Willie Nelson and Jerry Reed and Johnny Cash as well. So he was always in the music. He had so many demons to try and live with, but he still got out there, still played the music, and was a very successful musician. A lot of his albums did really, really well. They sold really well as well. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame too. When I say that his music was popular, just to put it in perspective, he had 11 #1 albums and 16 #1 singles. He's won 2 Grammys. One of those was for a performance with the Kimberleys, but then also a performance with Willie Nelson. So those were for best country performance by a duo or group with vocals. So prolific music maker, just a great all-round artist and musician, vocalist, and I think a lot of people have totally quit music for a lot less than Waylon actually went through. So the amount of music that he produced, just in spite of everything that had happened, and inspiration, he really did inspire so many other musicians, I think on a personal level as much as a professional level, because of his story. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!